Final trailer for Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker is here, and the Emperor is back. Sit down, relax, and then tense up again as we rewind back to the start to see just how the master manipulator behind the Skywalker saga makes his grand return. It's time for Rewind Theater. We start with Rey running through the woods with what appears to be a droid chasing her overhead. She could be on Yavin 4 or the forest moon of Endor or a new planet altogether. If we connect this to the previous trailer, it likely means we'll get a training montage that shows off just how much stronger Rey has become with the Force since the last time we saw her. She tosses down a blast shield helmet just like the one Luke once used during his training in A New Hope. This abrupt match cut sees Rey land inside what looks like an enemy ship. If we rewind back to The Force Awakens, then you'll recall she's an old pro at scaling the interiors of Imperial ships. Looks like all that time as a junker finally paid off. Here, Lando Calrissian is seen among the Resistance. You know Lando, so we don't need to rewind, but we love Lando, so we totally will.
Hello, what have we here?
So smooth. The Resistance looks way bigger than the few survivors left at the end of The Last Jedi. Maybe Lando plays a key part in finding allies to help fight against the First Order and old Palps. We get a quick shot of Rose Tico, who has risen through the ranks to become a Resistance military commander, the head of the Engineering Corps. Behind her is Lieutenant Connix, played by Carrie Fisher's daughter, Billy Lord. And leaning on her is Dominic Monaghan, who you'll just have to recognize from Lost and Lord of the Rings because nothing has been revealed about his character yet. Poe, Finn, and Chewie are standing next to an X-Wing with an orange paint job, which is a new color scheme for the iconic starfighter, which means I'm going to have to buy yet another X-Wing toy. Whoever is flying this blockade runner is drunk. We see Rey atop the wreckage of the second Death Star where she'll engage Kylo Ren in mortal lightsaber combat. We hear her say, "People keep telling me they know me. No one does," which you could take as a bit of meta commentary on how some fans thought they had her parentage figured out, only for her parents to be, well, nobody. And here's the bright ray of dripping wet sunshine who broke the news about Rey's parents to her. He says he does know her, and he may, given their forbidden Force tryst. But considering he gave the order to have her killed in The Last Jedi,
blow that piece of junk out of the sky!
Something tells us these two won't just touch hands and make up. This throne looks as ancient and evil as it is uncomfortable, which means it probably has something to do with the Emperor. The design is actually based on the original Ralph McQuarrie sketch of the Emperor's throne that he drew back in 1981, and the throne seems to be in a cave, like in this piece of McQuarrie concept art. It looks like director J.J. Abrams is going back to Star Wars' roots to create a place strong with the Force. After all, caves always seem to be a source of great Force power, and the Emperor has... Speaking of unlimited power, what looks like an Imperial Star Destroyer is rising up out of the ice. Maybe the Emperor saw Yoda raise that X-Wing and said, "Oh yeah, hold my beer." We hear the Emperor saying, "Long have I waited, and now your coming together is your undoing." It almost sounds like he's been orchestrating some grand scheme since the days of the Phantom Menace, and now it's all come together, exactly as he planned. Could the Emperor's apparent death and defeat have all been part of some larger master plan? Maybe he needed to die in order to make a stronger connection with the Force like we've seen the Jedi do. And then, the last piece of his decades-long puzzle requires two powerful Force users, Rey and Kylo Ren, to help him complete his master plan to conquer life and death. Regardless of whether any of that turns out to be right, it's clear the heroes will need to assemble to defeat these evil forces. And in this shot, numerous ships have come together, led by the Millennium Falcon. If you look closely, you can see a Hammerhead Corvette, the ramming ship from Rogue One, and the Ghost, the ship belonging to the crew from Star Wars Rebels. Meddling with C-3PO circuitry is Babu Frick, who is a cute little hacker. He was first revealed during Force Friday, where we found out he can reprogram virtually any droid, and we think he's the one responsible for reprogramming 3PO into a red-eyed death machine. Apparently, whatever he's doing may be irreversible, because 3PO gives what sounds like a tearful farewell to his friends. No, 3PO, don't go. No. Hey, that's Keri Russell's character, Zori Bliss. Little is known about her beyond the fact that she's an old acquaintance of Poe Dameron's. While we don't see Luke in the Force Ghost flesh, we hear him say, "Confronting fear is the destiny of the Jedi. Your destiny." And he totally has to be talking to Rey. This is coming from a man who ran away in fear after the dark side took his nephew, so what he's telling Rey, he's learned from experience. It seems the fate of the galaxy rests on her not making the same mistake he did. We get a look at the chase scene on Pasaana and see BB-8 killing more people. Oh, did you forget? Sweet, adorable little BB-8 has a kill streak a mile long. It's nuts. For you spaceship enthusiasts out there, here's a Y-Wing bomber showing up for the first time in the new trilogy. And there's Finn and Naomi Ackie's character, Janna, galloping into battle. And oh, there's little BB-8 continuing to roll his way towards more murder. Now things are getting epic as Rey and Kylo face off in the Emperor's throne room from the second Death Star, just like Luke and Vader once did in Return of the Jedi. And what the heck is going on here? At first glance, it looks like their duel went inside and they accidentally destroyed the pillar while they're swinging at each other. But upon closer inspection, it looks like they're working together in unison to destroy this strange object. It's hard to say what it is, but it may be the pedestal holding Darth Vader's helmet. Maybe Kylo needs Rey's help to finally rid himself of his obsession with his grandfather. And we have to point out that Rey is holding a dagger in her offhand. It could be nothing, but it looks like it has a ceremonial design. So maybe it's part of some Force ritual that will help them defeat the Emperor. This shot is a continuation from earlier, and it looks like the Resistance fighters are actually riding their space horses on the hull of a Star Destroyer. Exclamation point. If J.J. Abrams wanted to create a final battle unlike any other, he may have succeeded. And you can catch a glimpse of a new ship design as a pair of TIE daggers fly by. And finally, we see what appears to be Kylo and Rey confronting the Emperor. You can see the black hood fluttering, which is our best clue that this is him. But this isn't the Emperor we remember. The mechanical parts on his back and the towering stature make it seem like he's come back with a giant droid body. Okay, show of hands, who called it the final battle was going to be Rey and Kylo Ren teaming up to fight Mecha Emperor Palpatine? Yet despite facing down the Emperor, Rey looks unafraid. Maybe Luke's teaching paid off after all. And we hear Luke say the signature line,
"The Force will be with you."
And his sister Leia completes it.
Always.
And if that doesn't leave you too emotionally drained, then let us know in the comments what cool stuff you found in the trailer for The Rise of Skywalker. Thanks for rewinding with us. We'll see you next trailer.